Alright, what's up everybody? Paul here from Salute the Outdoors. It has been, almost 6 months since I've done an episode of Campfire Tales, and what a 6 months it's been. The kids and I finished out the season with spring turkey, and that episode is already on the YouTube channel. My kiddo got his first turkey. But anyway, we'll get into that. If you're new here, we appreciate you being here. This is Campfire Tales, where we kind of just bond with each other through outdoor stories that kind of help us from a mental health standpoint. It's my happy place, and I know it's the place where many people go to escape reality. And here we're here to kind of chat through that. Since we started this, we've actually grown the channel. We've tripled the size of our channel from a subscription standpoint. We went from about 50 subscribers. We're just under 150 subscribers now, which is pretty cool. I've been traveling so much, I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and map out what this looks like throughout the fall. But I have musicians and all sorts of veterans that I can't wait to showcase and have them tell their outdoor stories as guests on the Campfire Tales podcast, vlog, whatever we're calling this. But yeah, so long story short, we are getting into planning phase for the upcoming hunting seasons. It's already July. We missed Men's Mental Health Month in June from a podcast standpoint, but we were able to get out with some friends, do some shooting and things of that nature. So we were able to knock things out from that perspective. But we have a huge hunting season ahead, and I tell you what, from all the travel I've been doing for work, it is a breath of fresh air to think about the upcoming fall and winter months. We've got the same moose tag that I drew last year. One of my best friends in the whole world, Chase, drew the same tag this year. So we have the opportunity to tag along on that hunt. We're going to film it and bring that to you, so that way you guys can see his moose hunt in the same unit, and likely chasing bulls that I was looking at last year that have now had a year to grow. One of the big challenges right now this year is the wildfires. We have wildfires everywhere. There's a wildfire currently about 15 miles south of the location where I have spotted a bull for him that is almost the size of the bull that I got last year. And so that makes me excited that we'll be able to get in on a big bull for him, and I really think it'll be one of the videos for the record books for us anyway. And so that's exciting. We've got a muzzleloader antelope tag, we've got a cow elk tag, a bull elk tag, a deer tag, and my son has his first deer tag in his pocket this year to go down to Texas. And I tell you what, it makes me light up with joy that we've got all of these hunting trips planned, and hopefully the family can tag along for each and every one of them. So the name of the game here, again, we're kind of rekindling things, but is to talk about outdoor stories and how we have, how it kind of connects us within the outdoors and brings us together. Unfortunately, not around the campfire as I like to do, but we're making lemonade out of the lemons we've been given at this point. So this story goes back to, I want to say it was in like 2012, 13 time frame, maybe. Might have been just a smidge earlier than that, but it was archery season, and I had a deer and an elk tag in my pocket. I was hunting an area that is pretty well known in the Flat Tops Wilderness area in Colorado, and for those of you that don't know, it's all walk-in access. And what that means is there's no motorized vehicles, no nothing that's really allowed to go back in there. And so it makes for a pretty epic backcountry hunt. What is exciting about that is everything that you not only live in, your food, your tent, sleeping bag, etc., you all have to pack in on your back, and you have to pack it out. And if you get an animal, you're doing the same. There's, like I said, or you're hiring a service to pack out your game. Not really the name of the game for us. We like to do things kind of solo and bring everything out on our own. But the cool part is that you get to see some country that not a lot of people go and explore, largely because of that reason of not being just being motorless. Everything's foot traffic only. So again, back in early 2010s, something around there, archery hunting. At this point in time, I only really started to hunt maybe 2006, maybe 2005 was my first season. So I'd only been hunting a few years, had never harvested anything at this point yet, and so I was pretty green behind, if you will, when it comes to being a hunter. And so that's one of the things that makes this story even more fun to tell, is that as much as I was the hunter on this trip, it's more about how I was being hunted, and we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. But anyway, so I hop on the trail, I get out, and hiking around, trying to find, and this is 15, almost 20 years ago maybe, that I had gone on this hunt. And the crazy part is back then e-scouting was maybe a thing for a select few individuals, but it was more about reading a map and trying to figure out, or reading maps still at that point. I don't even know when Onyx came out, or other apps like it, but I had this old yellow E-Trex, I think is what it was called, Garmin GPS, where I literally marked my truck where I parked, and I turned it off, and it went in my pack until I went out, and that was just kind of my emergency function. So that way, if for some reason I got lost or turned around, I could waypoint myself back to the truck. Being in the military, I'm pretty good at navigation, so I wasn't overly concerned about it. But I head off, and I'm checking out the map and getting to the point where I want to set up. And again, being kind of green, at least from a hunting standpoint, I wasn't really paying much attention to my food supply. And one of the interesting things about your food supply is that depending on what you pack, it can attract certain animals. Well, on this particular hunt, I had brought Uncrustables, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. One of my favorite snacks of all times. I can't wait to actually share when we have the capability of doing a fire, is actually toasting an Uncrustable, much like a s'more, but it is absolutely delicious. You roast that thing over a little campfire, and it gives it the most delicious crunch on the outside to a warm, gooey, sweet center. It is like heaven on earth, especially when you're burning thousands of calories hiking around in the mountains. So anyway, that was my my food of choice, at least part of my food of choice. And I get to this point where I'm kind of just overlooking this kind of bowl, if you will, where I expected, just absolute herds of elk and deer to come flying through or frolicking, playing, especially mid-September, rut, the whole nine. And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm not eating or anything at this point in time, but just sitting there kind of glassing. Ended up dozing off for a short nap, or what I perceive as a short nap. And as I woke up, I heard some rustling in the background coming from behind me. So naturally I got kind of excited. And if you don't know what an Abert squirrel is, I highly suggest you go take a look at what those things are, because they are these little like grayish black squirrels that have little tufts on the top of their head that it almost makes them, if you were to zoom in on their head, they'd almost look like a bobcat or a lynx if you were to look at them super close on. And they make the most hideous sound on the planet when it comes to alerting the forest that something is there. Well, I was the something that was there, and they did not like the fact that I was nestled underneath this particular tree taking a nap. And so they were raising hell about me being there, and it annoyed me enough to move on. And at this point in time, it was getting to be about lunchtime, and I wasn't quite ready for my peanut butter and jelly just yet. I had a Mountain House. I forget what dish it actually was during this particular meal. The thing that really sits in my mind is the Uncrustables. But got my little jet boil out and had my Mountain House meal. Packaged everything up nice and neat in hopes that I wouldn't attract any bears or any other critters with having food around. And I kind of moseyed my way around this bowl so that way, instead of looking, let's see, I forget what direction I was actually looking at when I was having the squirrel problem, but I kind of worked my way around and ultimately got myself in a spot where I would have expected to have elk and deer. It was kind of north facing, and kind of nestled in, and I was like, well, shoot, I know this is north facing. All the things are supposed to happen on north facing slopes, and so I found myself a little set of Quakies, and got reset up to where I could kind of see back out into this bowl again. And I was looking back the direction that I was coming from. So I guess in that direction there was a big kind of cliff, not right where I was sitting, but kind of out a little further on the ridge. And that kind of had my eye, because I was expecting to see some sheep in the area as well. And this is before, well, maybe not before high dollar cameras, but before I could ever afford a high dollar camera. And so I had my little Sony single shot Carl Zeiss lens, 100x optical zoom or whatever it was, and I was just kind of playing around, and ended up seeing some sheep, which was awesome. But anyway, getting to the point of the excitement, again, I was getting hungry, and I'd spent a few hours in this spot, watching sheep and expecting to have herds of elk and deer come right into my lap, and wasn't really seeing or hearing much. So I decided to get out the Uncrustables and have some dinner. And at this point in time, I was one of my favorite things in the whole world to do is take a nap while hunting. And when you nap while hunting, it's, for whatever reason, it's just some of the best sleep you'll ever experience. And I don't know if it's nature. I don't know if it's just because you're relaxed. You're not thinking about work. The weight of the world is not on your shoulders any longer. So you get a good, some good sleep. Well, what I failed to recognize is that when I ate my Uncrustable, or when I pulled it out of the package, there was some jelly, and the insides had kind of come out and was inside the wrapper. Well, I had a little like a little pouch, almost like a rock climbing pouch where you put a chalk ball in for my trash, and I had that kind of just set out next to me. Well, what I didn't recognize is that, like I said, there was some remnants of the 2 sandwiches that I had in there, and as I was kind of dozing off for another nap, I heard some ruffling coming up from underneath me. Well, in my natural state, I got excited, and without, I was bow hunting, without getting overly excited and just jumping out of my seat, I was patient, and I was just kind of waiting for whatever it was to get to me. And I could tell it was coming my direction, but the one thing that I was still pretty green about was wind direction. And I didn't recognize that the wind was blowing at my back and kind of downhill into this area where it was kind of blind to me, this immediate ridge where I was sitting in the brush in front of me, as you kind of crested the ridge. And what ended up coming through the trees about made me have a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants, and I never expected to see what I saw. What I was staring at was a black bear. Apparently black bears really enjoy the smell of grape jelly and peanut butter, because that was the Uncrustables that I had. And I tell you what, I never expected to have a black bear 15 yards from me, ready to have a snack like that, and it was probably one of the most exhilarating moments of my life, because I had no idea how to react. Again, being as green as I was by myself, which probably wasn't the smartest thing to do in hindsight, but especially not having a whole lot of training with wildlife. But I had survival skills. Like I said, military training on how to survive in the backcountry and all that fun stuff. So that part wasn't an issue. It was the wildlife that I had really no experience with, and I froze, and this black bear just kept getting closer and closer. And now, being almost 20 years later, understanding that was an attractant. However, I had scent lock on, and it apparently works, because this bear was not smelling me. However, as the bear got closer, I started to get more nervous, and I happened to kind of twitch, if you will, and that movement kind of spooked it. Not in a good way, but in a bad way initially, because the bear postured up and was trying to figure out what I was, even though I knew what it was. And I recognized pretty quickly that it wasn't a fan of the movement, so I stopped, and I just stayed still, holding my bow in one hand. And fortunately, I was smart enough to at least be carrying a sidearm, and my sidearm was right here across my chest. Well, in the moment of movement, I actually got my hands closer to my sidearm, and I was able to unholster my pistol. Not being fearful for my life at this point yet, the bear was still 12-15 yards away. I was able to reach across and in obviously a safe direction, shoot one round, and that one round was just enough to scare off this bear. And in hindsight, I never would have had to do that if I would have just waved my arms and said, hey, get out of here, and just been loud. But that was the likely case. But had it not, I still had my pistol in my hand, and I could have been able to protect myself. But the long and the short of it is even if you have zero experience in the woods, exciting things can happen, but dangerous things can happen too. And it's a pretty fun story. A lot of people like to hear the peanut butter and jelly story about how I came across and toe-to-toe with a bear. So that's a fun one to share with everyone. And the kind of conclusion to the whole thing was I ended up deciding to go home pretty shortly thereafter. I was pretty riled up, especially again not having a ton of experience with wildlife encounters like that. And so I went home and talked to my buddy about it, and he's like, "Oh man, you should have just waved your hands and you would have been fine." But anyway, kind of digress on that. And so that's the bear and the peanut butter jelly story. I'm really appreciative of everyone that has joined us for this vlog or this episode. Again, not really sure what we're calling this thing, even though I think we're up to 5 episodes now with this one. And we're going to figure it out. We're going to be here more consistently. Really excited to share the hunts that are coming up this fall, and a lot of the scouting that we're doing alongside that. It's going to be a really fun season, and I hope more of you join, and I look forward to getting to the point where I have folks sitting next to me, or we're kind of doing this over a live show where we can have folks tell their own stories about outdoor adventures and how it helps you connect and ultimately get past some mental health challenges, which is the whole point of being here, to connect through the outdoors when it's either too smoky and fiery to be outside or too cold and blizzardy, and the space in between there, where we're just looking to get our fill of the outdoors. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. We're going to talk about next time discover, honor, and respect. That's the kind of trilogy of Salute the Outdoors, and the significance of that, and how it brings us together from a mental health standpoint. So thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Really appreciate you being here. If you can and you're willing and able, please go over to Instagram and give us a follow there as well. We'll be sharing a lot more content, images, still images, and whatnot of scouting over the summer months on our Instagram page. So thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Take care.